Hey everyone, Anthony Scott here at ToyHappyUSA.com. Today I am taking an advanced look and review of Playmates Toys' upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classic Mutants 4-pack, which includes 4 figures, and I will specify that in a moment. Special shout out and thank you to Playmates Toys for sending this set along for review. It's greatly appreciated. The artwork here looks great, as you can see on the box. They really went all out as far as that. For those of you wondering, this set is coming soon exclusively online. It's not a store exclusive, but it will be offered at Target, Walmart, and Amazon. This information comes directly from Playmates Toys, so do be on the lookout for this. And I will be making a new article on ToyHappyUSA.com once this is up for pre-order or listed as in stock. So do check out the website daily for information on this set. The box, as I said, features some great artwork here, various turtles from a number of different shows, comics. I think they really went all out as far as that. Here is a look at all sides of the box. Beautifully done. Of course, the top of the box, I'll show you guys that in a moment. On the back, it has the Classic Turtles logo. The Classic Mutants 4-pack, it specifies that as well. And it specifies who's in it. So you have Anthrax, Scaletail, Wyrm, and Usagi. These are reissues from the classic figures of the late 80s, early 90s. So you're going to be getting those classic figures once again. These characters, or figures I should say, was specified as getting reissued at last year's New York Toy Fair 2025. So we're in 2026 now, and these are going to be coming out very soon. Here is a look at the box. And of course, the top of the box has more great artwork here. It also has a handle, handy handle. So just like the other Classic Mutant 4-packs as well. The bottom of the box, it also has an image of the figures that are included. So here is a look there. And there's a further back image. Each figure is packaged on a retro-inspired blister card here. Here is a look at Anthrax. The artwork on this is great. It's the original artwork from back in the day. And it's great having this type of packaging back into the line. This was what I remember seeing at stores including Toys R Us, KB Toys, and various other retailers from when these were originally released. On the front here, there's a foot logo specifying that he is a villain. So here is a look at there. And logos like this was originally placed on the packaging in case kids didn't know. So is this character a hero or a villain? Well, it specifies he is a villain. So here is a look at this great artwork here. On the back of the box, you have more original artwork, which looks great up there on top. Let's bring this in a little bit closer for you guys. So here is your look at this artwork here. Below it are images of figures that have been reissued in recent years from Playmates Toys. The original packaging had different characters from back in the day, so this is one big difference from the original packaging and this new one. And here you have a look at his bio. There's also a foot logo here specifying that he is a villain. And here is a closer look at the bio. Wyrm's packaging is next, and he has the classic inspired artwork on the card here. The turtle shell is to the left, indicating that he is a heroic character, friends with the turtles. And here is a look at the back. The back has the same artwork that Anthrax had. A look at characters that have been released recently from Playmates Toys. Here is a closer look at that. Because it is missing now Wyrm, so Wyrm was replaced with Anthrax. And here is a look at the bio. The turtle's shell is right on top of the right-hand side of the bio, indicating that he is a hero. Scaletail is next, and he is on his original blister card here. Same artwork as back in the day, and it's really awesome artwork. Turtles logo on top. To the left, you see the foot logo, indicating that he is a villain. Back of the packaging, it's the same layout as the other two that I showed you. And here is a closer look at the bio. Foot logo is also right there on top. And finally, here is a look at Usagi on his retro-inspired blister card here. The artwork looks great. It features the Turtles logo. The Turtles shell is to the left, as well as his name. And here's a look at that. The back of the blister card is the same style as the others. And here is a closer look at the bio. Here is a look at all four figures together. I was not given the price for this set from Playmates Toys, so I will have that information once it goes up online. Again, I will be making an article specifying all the information you need to know. Once pre-orders or in-stock listings are offered at certain online retailers, that carries this figure 4-pack. I'm going to open this up now, and let's take a closer look. Here is a look at all four of the figures in hand. I, for one, am thrilled to have these in hand, courtesy of Playmates Toys. Usagi is the only one that I remember owning as a child, so I don't remember owning Anthrax, Scaletail, or Wyrm, but I am thrilled to have these in hand now. Up first is Anthrax, and here's your in-hand look at him. According to his bio, he is an alien from Dimension X, and I think this is a great representation of how he appeared in the cartoon. There is a bit more detail on the figures compared to how they looked in the cartoon, and that was because everything back in the day was hand-drawn. Drawing something like this with so much detail would have taken them a lot longer to do, so that is why they simplified the designs in the cartoon, but made the toys a bit more detailed. And that goes from not only Turtles, but other properties as well, such as Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, shows like that, Ghostbusters. So here is a look at all sides of Anthrax. I've always loved his design, the 4 arms. I think it's a very interesting design. Here is a look at the back. As far as the deco goes, I think it's great. There may be a little bit of difference in deco between the original release from the early 90s compared to this new release in 2026. I do not own the original Anthrax, so I am unable to show you guys that comparison. I do apologize about that, but just know that there may be a little bit of difference in there, such as slight shade of purple, maybe a little bit of difference in the gold. I'm not really sure. He comes in a black sculpt with a metallic gold chest, and there is a little bit of metallic gold on the arms as well. He also has a bit of purple clothing as well, which you see on his upper legs and lower legs, as well as around his head. He's also given a red harness, which you see around his body. Here is a closer look at that, and it's hanging right in the front there. Some detail. Here is a closer look what I'm talking about. This is all non-removable, so just be aware of that. But as I said, the deco looks great on him. There's also a little bit of red detail that you see on the arms as well as the gold. And on the back, he also has this insect stinger, which kind of looks like a bee stinger, but it's in different colors. This is in red and black. Head sculpt, he looks like some kind of alien bug, and I, for one, think they did a great job on him. He has 2 big antennas, which you can bend a little bit, as well as these front things here, which you can swivel around, which is pretty neat. You do see his teeth on the sides, so here's a look at that. And you see those big bug eyes on both sides. His articulation is pretty much standard for the line. Keep in mind that when he was originally released, figures weren't given more than, let's say, 7 points of articulation as far as Turtles and various other lines. So that is what you're going to be basically getting here. He includes a swivel neck. You can move that as shown. The antennas on top, these bend, but you can also swivel the parts coming out of his mouth here, his pinchers, whatever you want to call them. The shoulders can also swivel. Here is a closer look. It's going to be all four of them. These upper wrists don't move, but you can swivel the forearm a little bit right there. And this wrist right here can also be swiveled around. He's also given ball jointed hips and a swivel stinger. Anthrax includes 3 accessories. This is his add-up axe with nasty noose. For this accessory, he can only hold it in his upper arms, and here is a look at that. Here is a look at his beat-em back bat, which he can hold in any of his wrists. Here is a look at the old ball and chain, which can be clipped on either one of his ankles. Antrax's accessories can also be placed on him as shown. He was also originally released by Playmates Toys in 1991. Scaletail is up next, and he is a bounty hunter from Dimension X. He is some kind of snake alien. I don't see a specification that he was transformed into a mutant. I think he's just an alien that looks like a snake. He was originally released by Playmates Toys in 1992 and gets a reissue for the first time. I really like the sculpt. It's really fantastic, especially from the time. He is given sculpted details on his skin, just like a real snake, as you can see throughout the sculpt here. Let's take a closer look at that. He has a blaster right on the end of his tail. Here is a look at all the sides. Might be a little tricky to get him to stand up straight, depending on the position that you place him on. His right arm is given 3 snake heads as shown that wrap around each other, which is pretty neat, while his left arm here is an actual arm, and you see those sculpted scales and everything throughout the skin, as you can see. It's given a little bit of detail as well. It looks like smaller snakes on his arm. He's also given some kind of armor on his arm here. His chest armor is purple and blue with a little bit of a pinkish red. As I said, it is a little bit tricky to get him to stand up. He's also given red shoulder pads here. And the faces on the snakes are painted in red. You see the inside of the mouths as well, including the painted eyes, which I'm very happy about that they went ahead and painted the eyes and faces. So definitely makes them look better. Here is a look at the other side. Head sculpt looks great. I think they did a really nice job on it. This tongue can be moved as shown, and it goes back into basically a starting position. So this is definitely a cool feature. Facial details look great. As you can see, they went ahead and painted the eyes, especially around the eyes, which looks great. Scaletail's articulation is pretty much standard for the line, especially at the time. This includes a swivel head as shown. Here is a look at that. I also wanted to point out when you move the head, the tongue doesn't move along with it because it's a separate piece. Swivel shoulders, and that's the same on both sides. Swivel bicep on this side. No wrist articulation. And the tail has 1, 2, 3, 4 joints for the articulation. He includes all of his accessories from back in the day. The belly bust and backpack can be placed on the back of his head, and here's a closer look at that. Here is a look at his wattage whip. He also includes 2 blasters, including the scale shooter and the vicious venom pistol. However, I am not sure which is which, so here is a closer look at both of them. Here is a look at the other one. This one has a handle that can be placed in his hand, also a clip that can be placed on his forearm as shown. Here is a closer look at that. Wyrm is next, and he is an ally of the Turtles, originally released by Playmates Toys in 1991. He is a mild-mannered trash man that was transformed into this garbage ghoul that you see before you. He comes in a green outfit with the words sanitation, or excuse me, unsanitation department. That is right on his chest. The outfit is green. His skin color is blue with a little bit of purple around the mouth and the eyes. The eyes can also be moved by moving the hair right on top. Here is a closer look at that. I think that's a great feature. And the head can be lifted by pressing the bottom part of the head back. So here's a look at that. And you see all those gross interior details on the mouth. The sculpt itself looks great. I think they did a great job with him back in the day. His right leg is kind of like a tentacle that you see right there with yellow and purple. Here is a look at all sides. The left shoe has a hole in it on the front, so you get to see his toes, and that is painted in red. Here is a look at the back. His fingers look like worms, and those are in purple, while the right hand is given a red glove, and the left hand is left in the blue skin tone. If you look closely at the sculpt, there's a lot of really neat sculpted details. Let's take a closer look at that. Not all of these details are painted, unfortunately, as that would drive up the cost. I really wish they went ahead and painted the toenails. I think that would have been pretty cool, but I understand they can't possibly do all that. Here is a look at the back with more great sculpted details here. Look at the back of the arm and everything. Wyrm is also articulated, and this includes a hinged jaw, which, as I said, that can be lifted up by pressing down on the back. Swivel shoulders, both sides. Swivel elbows on both sides, and ball-jointed hips. Wyrm includes all of his original accessories. This includes a Wyrm belt, which is around his waist. Also shown are the Munchie mouth worms, which are placed right in his hand. Those can be removed, but since they're so small, I'm going to leave them on there. Also included is his trash compactor mullet and the Wyrm knife. And finally, he includes his original Porcupounder wrench, and here's a look at that. And finally, here is a closer look at Usagi, originally released by Playmates Toys in 1989. He is the oldest figure sculpt in this box set. He was brought into New York City through Donatello's trans-dimensional portal. Usagi comes in his dark blue samurai armor, as well around his torso, and on his shoulders and hips that you see as well. On the bottom of that are purple and yellow deco as well. He also comes in purple plants, a black belt, black sandals, and there are some various black bands around his wrists there. Head sculpt looks great. I think they did a great job with it. I'm very happy to see that they painted the eyes, and those are in a lighter blue compared to the armor. He is also given a yellow necklace around his neck, which looks great. Usagi's articulation is also standard for the line. Keep in mind that it's also somewhat limited. This includes a swivel head, swivel shoulders, swivel forearms, and that's the same on the other side, and ball-jointed hips. Good range of motion here. Here's a look at all of his accessories. I have not cut them off yet. I wanted to give you guys a look at how it looks completely assembled, just as it did with the vintage release. Here is a look at all of the accessories removed. Included is a curved spear. Here is the long and short swords. And finally, here's a look at the fist dagger and regular small dagger. Just in time for this review, I was able to find Chrome Dome at Walmart, so just note that he is out there, sold as a single release. Overall, this is a great set offered by Playmates Toys. Once again, these are reissues from the original run. These are coming soon, online only, at stores including Target, Walmart, and Amazon. So stay tuned at ToyHypeUSA.com for details once this is released, as well as pricing information. Thank you again to Playmates Toys for sending along the set for review. It's greatly appreciated. I am Anthony Scott. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more news and reviews.